Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. We're taking a look here again at Solana to see what's going on. It looks like we tested this little heavy liquidation area and have since pulled back. Of course, Solana is running synonymous with Bitcoin in a lot of ways, pumping with it. Now that we've broken through this little resistance in this range, we can presume the price will continue higher. Doesn't mean it can't pull back though. Please recognize that there's a solid chance we're going to see this fair value gap filled as low as 130. I'm expecting Bitcoin's fair value gap to get filled too, especially when Asian markets open here in a little bit. They've got about a good 5% profit left on the as meat on the bone. They're going to probably secure some profits here soon. So I wouldn't think it's going to be a massive dump, but just expect Bitcoin to pull back. I would say is a pretty safe presumption. However, a lot of momentum, a lot of reasons not to short into it. I would say the same for Solana too. Okay, so if you got a long open, good job, congrats. Let's take a look and see if it's worth securing profits or what the deal is here first. I do want to say thank you again to my community for awesome feedback. Thank you so much. I'm glad that's working out well for you. Solid profit here from Cardano and SUI 65 and 22%. While we're not getting super heavy with our longs, hindsight obviously is 2020. We should have. You never truly know. The market's been giving us so many false positives that over trading has been a very, very big problem for people. In fact, I've got a lot of new members coming over that have since gotten destroyed by the market because they're listening to Moon Boys saying that everything's going to go to the moon, and they got really quiet recently. I understand why. The price of Bitcoin was pretty bad. They're probably pretty loud here today too, screaming about "I told you so"s, but I need to say, a lot of folks get destroyed by doing that, so just be careful over trading. It's not really good practice. Taking a look here, of course, we can see this heavy concentration liquidation. $500 million at 136 is gone. So majority of liquidation has been swept here, at least the immediate stuff. And I was talking to my community about this earlier. They were asking, the range, 136 to 140 is that rough estimate of range. And we can see here, there's still some left if you kind of zoom in a little bit or out and in. There's maybe about $2 billion in liquidation between 137 and 139. So there's still some left. Keep in mind the price is probably more likely to continue higher because, again, there's not a lot to the downside. So just recognize that's a potential reality. I do think Solana will probably continue further up here. What I'll do is I'll draw out some new fib levels here soon. Once the daily candlestick closes, I'll post that on our playout chart, which is on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this. Bitcoin's printing a really nice Elliott wave, potential fourth wave leg down here to fill its CME gap. Fair value gap rather. CME is much lower. If that happens, then you can presume that Solana is going to have a very similar circumstance. So I think we are going to see Solana pull back a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be monstrous. Unless Bitcoin does something stupid and crazy and starts trending down towards low 50s, we should be in good shape to see Solana back on track. Let's look at the daily time frame and work our way down, kind of recognize where we're at here. First of all, we got this local resistance here that is tentatively above us still. It's about 135, 136. It's kind of hard to see from when you're zoomed out there, but this area of retracement there's a good chance that'll continue to be a resistance, but it could also cup and handle out where the price action continues further up. We'll look at that in smaller time frames. That's very much hypothetical at the moment, but this resistance at 136 is still present. So minus this liquidation sweep, it's still there. Same thing here as well. 50 on the RSI, stochastic swinging up, money flow index coming back up with a perfect pivot off that 20 level, as I mentioned before, is a really good buying spot. Generally speaking, these are all things that were present on Bitcoin, so in turn, Solana following it hand in hand for the most part, we're seeing a very similar type of daily setup. MACD is trying to converge. If you see a Bitcoin too, it's also similar in that sense, so just know that a lot of good things are coming here, but we can't truly confirm that we're bullish because we haven't broken through this, in my opinion, that's somewhat of a key level resistance. We've seen multiple reattempts at that level, having yet to be broken. We close above 136 today. That's probably a good consideration for a long. I know, it seems crazy to wait for the price to be higher before you take it long in that same direction. I get it. But folks, it's the safer way to trade and the better way to do it, unless you're able to watch the charts all day, every day, right? If you're a day trader, don't even worry about this. I mean, this is helpful, of course, because you need to know some more macro stuff and even midterm, but I can't just show you the 1 minute chart and then an hour later you look at it and it's totally changed. That doesn't make any sense. That's why I have a day trading bot for that specific reason. Again, CryptoCache.tech is a site link down below if you're curious. I do have a trading academy, community, and signals group. Again, it's been a fun experience, but I'm there to make sure that people don't get destroyed by the market, and that's the whole point. While I have taken a lot less trades than usual here lately, we're keeping it safe. We're staying in the green, and that's the end of the line. Okay, 4-hour time frame. We want to talk about this here quickly to look at the SMAs. We're above both SMAs. When we talked about this earlier, there's a strong chance the price is going to come up here just have an initial rejection and a pivot bounce off the previous resistance. That didn't even happen. All the more reason why we're probably more likely to see the price come back down to that level first before it takes off again. Mainly because that fair value gap is there, and a lot of other reasons, but that's pretty much it right there. Okay, we moved, we flew too close to the sun, right? That's generally what it boils down to. I'm not saying the price can't continue higher without filling it. It's just a larger probability we'll see a retracement. However, everything is truly bullish here. There's nothing really here telling us in the 4-hour time frame it's worth shorting into. So absolutely walk away from this conversation knowing that it's not a good idea to short. Please understand that. But if you are considering a short, it would make sense to play it tight and ensure that you watch it close, because shorting Solana to 0 is not a thing. Even shorting Solana to 120 is still a pretty low probability. Again, 119.99, we talked about that previously. If that happens, then we'll bridge that gap when we get there. But I think it's very low probability that occurs unless Bitcoin drops back down the low 50s. Okay, so at this point, hourly time frame, everything's going to be confirming bullish. There's nothing really to see here. What we should probably do is see. Well, I'll draw that out a little bit later, but generally speaking, what I'm going to do is I'll update our fib levels. I'll make sure we have, if there's any potential case scenarios here we want to pay attention to, I'll send that out. But the hourly time frame here, I mean, minus a slight bit of overextension, we're at 7 right now. Bitcoin's the same way, by the way. We're probably going to see the price overall trend upwards. But I do personally feel like we're likely to see a bit of a pullback to one of these levels before that happens. Okay. So again, just a heads up on that. That's a distinct likelihood. Is it a guarantee? No, nothing's guaranteed in this market, but we have a lot of momentum. You try not to short into it. If you're going to, though, I just insist that you use low leverage, low position size. Don't be a greedy SOB. It's not the case right now. Okay. Anyone who tells you different is probably an amateur and or has no regard for anyone's feelings. Because again, a true analyst will recognize that there's too much risk in the market right now, and it's best to play your cards safe and not to overdo it. Okay. All right. That's kind of where we're at. Again, we're in this little transition right now. Now that Bitcoin's transitioned to bullish, we got to respect the fact that the current trend is now up. All right. We're going to start looking at that too. By the way, playout chart coming. Thanks again so much for your time. Oh, very last thing, of course. Highly recommend BTCC, folks. These guys are awesome exchange. Link down below. Just check them out. See if you like them. It's a good alternative, honestly, for other no KYC or VPN required exchanges. They have a really awesome promo going on this month too, with some really nice bonuses. So check them out. They're really cool. They have demo trading too, which is the thing I really like to recommend for anyone who's newer. Please, please, please make sure you trade with fake money before you trade with real money. It feels a lot better to lose fake money than real money. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.